Alrighty guys, g'day. How are we all doing there? Welcome back to another Wednesday live stream. It's today. We're going to be taking a look back on our YALWAL adventure. Now, I did try and do this before. This was the first ever live stream that I tried to do. And it worked pretty well. However, once we got to the end, the third and final part there, it was very, very laggy and we could not continue. So last week, last Wednesday, when we rewatched Nunes, I was trying a new little method and it seemed to work well enough with no lag issues. So we're going to try that again with our YALWAL adventure because I really want to have that adventure up here to re-showcase it to you guys. It was such an awesome little adventure down there with Jared and Nathan all the way down on the New South Wales south coast. So just give it a minute. There are 3 parts to this adventure, so we will be here for a little while. They're about 20 minutes each, so we're in for a fairly long one today. Hopefully everything goes well. If there's any technical issues, just feel free to let me know in the chat. Any questions you have regarding to the trip, I'll be commenting over on certain things about the trip, you know, maybe some behind the scenes details for you guys and stuff when we reach certain parts. So yeah, feel free to drop any questions and everything in the side chat there, and if you're watching the replay, feel free to drop them down in the comments section below. So we're not going to waste any more time, and we're going to switch this over and get started on part 1 of the YALWAL adventure. So, oh, now this was an awesome trip. Well, here we were on another adventure. This time we're heading down to the New South Wales south coast, checking out the YALWAL circuit. Now you'll notice with this one, this is actually
definitely the most impromptu
where I started having issues with the pitch on the camera.
We had been hearing stories about this place for ages, and so what a better way to put merit to those stories than to come check it out. It had been some time since we had last been down to the south coast, and boy were we in for it. Heading on to YALWAL Road, it wasn't long before we were off the bitumen and onto the tracks.
Some unreal four-wheel driving in this part of the track. This is all Jared's handiwork right here on the GoPro. First real test that the car actually got. This is the first trip that we did after I lifted the car, and so it was the first real test, and it was definitely the most gnarly four-wheel driving that I've done ever. Still to this day, I would say. Man, I remember that little steep bit there. Crazy. There's the old bash plate getting its a really good test out there. You get Jared's hand in here in a minute. Yeah. It's really hard to believe how loaded up that roof rack was as well. I mean, that's a lot of gear up there. We had three swags up there. We had two doubles and the crash pad single. You see how fresh the tyres looked there down this track. Crazy. This little rocky bit, I actually like this little rocky bit here. I still use all the footage from this little bit on all the social platforms because I like it. It's quite nice. Yeah, a little horn beep there. You see that custom off-road bash plate coming in handy there. I wasn't quite going for the tree, Jared. You see how easily the car lifts wheels as well. It still does that today. I think Jared got his kilometres up on this trip. He probably walked like half of the trip. Old Nathan was in the car there. Yeah, good little trail. I'm still really happy with how the car performed out on this trip as well. I mean, the camera doesn't really do it justice how gnarly these conditions were. Awesome getting it done up there. A lot of this trip was done in low range when we were down there. Actually, funny story, all of this stuff that you see here was done in 40 psi because I didn't lower the tyres down at all for this bit because I didn't think it was going to be that challenging. It ended up being one of the most challenging parts of the trip, and the car did it well in 40 psi on the Wranglers, so kudos to them, I guess. Now, this shot here is interesting. You'd think I'm holding the GoPro out the window. It's actually Jared hanging off the side of the car with the GoPro. So down there as we're driving into the valley to Danjera Dam. Love to go back to this place. It's awesome.
So here we are at Danjera Dam, and we've just found out on the way in here that camping is no longer permitted here at the moment. It's a nice view, just have a look out over there.
Yeah, the cicadas, wow.
Although this was our planned destination, it's quite unfortunate because we had the rods in the car and everything like that.
Hey Pat, mate, yeah, it does. So it comes with a factory diff locker in there. It's only got a rear diff locker, not a front one.
Look for a spot to camp out there. Unplanned, and then we'll cook up some dinner for you guys. We don't know where we're going to camp now. Like I just said, this was our planned destination, and we can't stay here. So I guess we'll see where the night takes us. I'm just airing down a little bit more because I feel like I was a bit high for those conditions back there, doing all that gnarly stuff on the way in. That was really cool though. The first real test that Pajero's gotten since I lifted it, and I have to say I'm quite impressed. So we'll see what tracks YALWAL has to offer us, and
there's Nathan sitting in the back seat there.
We're just going to end up camp somewhere along the fire trail, somewhere in the bush. Anyway, we'll see when we get there.
Now this camp was a really awesome camp. I love this one. Just a random track on the side of the bush. It was really cool. Hey Ray, mate, how you doing there, buddy? Good to see you again. And yeah, you're right. Plans never go to plan. I don't think any of the plans that we had on this trip actually went to plan. But it was a really awesome trip nonetheless.
Well, guys, here we are, a sunset view at the beautiful Mackenzie's Lookout.
Awesome spot, this one.
By the cliff here.
We camped not too far from here.
Look how awesome this place is here along the YALWAL circuit. Now you can actually walk right down along the cliffside behind me over there. The tracking's a little bit gnarly. The walking track, I mean, the four-wheel driving is fairly easy. We're going on our way to check out the last retreat. This was just on the stop off. And how rewarding is this? What a view as the sun sets over these mountains.
Yeah, that was an awesome little look out there. There's just the truck all loaded up. Awesome. Well, how you been doing there, Ray?
Alright, we found a camping spot.
Oh, the stunning spot, this one.
Thankfully, just a short walk away, we're greeted to this awesome view. How cool is that, eh? Wow. Sun setting over there behind us. Anyway, it's time to get camp set up. Let's not waste any more time, I reckon.
Now, I don't know, Jared and Nathan around in the chat there. You guys remember coming up here in a second, you'll see the old stretcher. All the huntsman spiders that decided to appear on the bottom of my stretcher every time I set it up down here. The old crash pad swag and stretcher. It's an awesome little setup. Now that I've sort of switched over to the rooftop tent, it'll be interesting to see what I do there with that. Definitely won't get rid of it, but
wow, I mean,
yeah, mate, we're going well.
can't get enough of
We're all kind of a little bit far apart. Can't do much at the moment. Still at work, which is good, but
well, I think while the other two
just can't go camping. It sucks.
get set up, I think we might want to get on with dinner before the sun fully disappears behind the mountains in a few minutes, I reckon. We'll be up and out of this spot nice and early. We'll see what tomorrow brings. We might stay an extra night. We might go home, just see the circumstances. Anyway, get a crack.
Now, I'm very glad that we did actually end up taking more food, because we did end up staying an extra night. Oh, the cicadas, wow.
We've just got some beef burgers that we're going to cook up for you guys tonight, and they're just from Coles, thyme and parsley ones. So we're going to smack them on real quick. Jared and Nathan.
You can see the old battery set up in the back there. I'm so keen to get the new one in there.
I'm only going to be cooking one tonight, just in case we end up staying an extra night. We've got stuff to eat. Anyway,
which we did, like I just said.
Like just a simple burger, cheese, sauce type of deal. Anyway, let's crack them on.
The only thing that killed this trip for us was the cicadas. I mean, this camp spot was okay, but the final camp spot that we camped way down the back, which you guys will see in the next episode when I play it, man, that was hard. That was real hard.
There it is, 4 in the pan. How good is that?
Really simple in this, and now you see how simple this old setup here is. And I was cooking on top of the fridge. Man, I can't wait to use this new setup that I've got out there in the bush. I still can't believe that I used to cook like that. Yeah, Ray, mate, that sounds awesome. We've been chatting to Jared about doing something like that. I'd love to. Been trying to work out a nice little spot where we can go camping and fishing out in the bush, get a bit of both in there. I'd love to do that.
Well, that is going to do us for the first part of our YALWAL adventure. Make sure you tune in next week to see more insane four-wheel driving, as well as another amazing campsite and one of the craziest experiences we have ever had. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed.
Damn, that blew my eardrums out.
Below. And as always, we will see you in the next adventure.
Well, lucky for you guys, the next adventure starts right now with part 2 of our YALWAL adventure. Now, this episode here, I would say this episode involves some of the most serious four-wheel driving that we have ever done. Still to this day. I mean, I think that this down here even tops Lithgow. There we go. This is the Mint Bush Trail down on the YALWAL circuit. This is the track that leads into one of the more famous fire trails in the area, the Monkey Gum Fire Trail. There's that little camp spot down there.
Guys, now I just can't believe how awesome the view is.
You can tell I've just gotten out of bed in this one, haven't I?
Absolutely pristine weather here in the YALWALs.
As always, Ray, mate, we always try and stay safe
So far,
as best as we can.
This is what we're in store for the rest of the trip. Well, then I'm definitely excited. So today we'll be heading back down to Dangerra Dam to do a little bit of fishing. I know that Jared and Nathan have been really excited to cast a line out there, and I think that they're a bit sad that we didn't get to camp there. So we're going to go back down there, do some fishing, and then we'll explore the region a little bit more and find a spot to camp tonight. And then I guess we'll go from there anyway. So we'll show you guys around where we are and then head off down.
If we were any better at freshwater fishing, I would 100% go straight back here as soon as I can. But unfortunately, we've never had any luck with freshwater fishing. Saltwater's always kind of been our thing. But Dangerra Dam is a really good spot for freshwater fishing. These drone shots were alright, a little bit blown out here. This is the old DJI Phantom 3 drone that fell off the cliff over the Wadigan Mountains. In a minute, when I turn the drone around, you'll be able to see Dangerra Dam. Here we are. So if you look off at all those clouds there, that is Dangerra Dam. Just have a look at that. How awesome. Still one of the nicest scenic camp spots that we've ever been to, for sure. Yeah, Jared, that'd be good. I reckon that we could definitely make do with another trip down here. There's that camp chair that I left at Tomsy's house. And the solar panel that I broke at Lithgow. Good times. The good thing about this trip was how much sun we had. The solar panel was working a treat on this one.
Just going to have a fish for a little while here, and so Nathan is going with a lure. I'm going to start off with a lure because it was already on my line, and Jared is going to go with some corn and bread as bait. I'm just going to be fishing off this little spot down here behind me. Now we'll be here for a few hours, and thankfully the sun is out, so the solar panels are on, power in the fridge, which is awesome.
Really keen to put the brand new solar panel in action here.
We'll get something, maybe we won't. You never know with fishing anyway. After we're done fishing, we'll head up that trail and then hopefully have a good afternoon of four-wheel driving, and then we'll find a camp somewhere along there.
I ended up getting bored and heading off for a swim, and I had a really bizarre encounter that you'll see in a minute. The first time ever using the chest mount here as well. The GoPro Hero 9 chesty. Yeah, Jared, that new combo that you got, mate, is I'm pretty jealous of it. As you know, I guess my combo is fairly lightweight, but it's nothing compared to what you've got now. Yours is just amazing.
We're really loving this spot here. It's really awesome. The weather's really hot now, and so I think I'm going to go for a swim. The conditions are just perfect. It's really beautiful out there. The dam is so nice and calm and cool. The weather's really hot, so while Jared fishes the back area down there, I'm going to go for a swim. Looks like there's a really nice view from the top of this ledge over there, so we'll go check that out. All right, here's where we are.
There's the old fish bandit live in action.
A spectacular view, so
oh, the cicadas, man, they're killing. Oh, here we go. This is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to us.
It's coming over again, you can hear it.
How weird is this? Huh. They're after Nathan, I reckon. Yeah, I reckon, Jared.
As if this isn't the craziest thing that's like ever happened to us. That... Dude, what are they doing?
Absolutely nuts.
What in the world did we just experience?
Crazy.
I don't know if I want to go for a swim now.
Definitely scared me out of wanting to swim. It took me another 10, 15 minutes to get into the water. I had Nathan, how you going? They were definitely coming for either you or Jared, that's for sure. I didn't realise in this shot either that I had that water blob on the lens until I got home and was editing. The view down the back of Dan Jarrah Dam there. A helicopter just about blew my eardrums out. Top little spot there. Like I said, we didn't have any luck fishing this time, but confident that when we head back, we'll be much better equipped with knowledge and be able to get some more.
That was a nice swim down there in the dam. That was pretty cool as well that Navy chopper come over. I mean, I never thought in my life I'd ever get to see something like that. I don't know what they were doing. Probably just a training exercise, but I mean that was pretty cool.
I reckon that was awesome.
Water treat YALWAL has been so far. I mean, we got to have an awesome camp last night on the cliff face. We got some awesome four-wheel driving on the way through. We got a really nice dam here today. Had a really good swim. We also got to see that Navy chopper land, which, I mean, what are the odds of that? That's like a 1 in a million thing, where you get to see a helicopter land like right in front of you there. So now we're just going to get some lunch into us. Just a real simple lunch, like I just said, sausages. That's it. We didn't pack a lot of food today. We anticipated that we were going to go home today. But like I said, the circumstances have changed and we've got an extra day. So I'm really looking forward to this afternoon getting down those trails.
You can hear those cicadas coming in. Here's Jared's favourite, the honey glazed sausages. Good times this trip was, I reckon. I'd love to head back down there with the new setup. It's awesome fun.
Alright, now lunch is all done. It was Top's lunch. And I think it's time to...
Now, when we started this trail that you're about to see here, this one here that I'm on, this connects up with the trail that we were on already. However, there's trees and stuff that were blocking the way that prevented us from getting down there, so we couldn't get down there. But if we had have continued up at the campsite that you see us at the very end of this episode, if we had have continued up that trail, it would have brought us out on this trail. So maybe if we go back down there, we can work on reopening the trail.
We're not going to be able to continue down this particular trail without a chainsaw. There's 2 trees blocking the way, so instead we're just going to head back up and go down another trail. We've seen a few more up the top. They all kind of lead to the same destination anyway. We just thought this one was the most direct anyway.
So in the end, we ended up going right down to the bottom and the start of Mint Bush Trail, which eventually leads on to Monkey Gum, but we did not end up doing Monkey Gum. This here is another track that Jared probably walked the better part of because he's the one holding the GoPro here. And the camera also really doesn't do these trails justice. You know, you really don't get a good idea on camera on how steep some of these things were because they were really, really steep.
Right, here we are on this trail now. We found another trail after the last one that we went on was overgrown. We're going to check out this place that popped up on the map called Midbush Campground.
Yep.
A little bit bumpy through here, but that's all right. Quite liking this trail.
I reckon you were, Jared, that's for sure. I'm really, really happy as well with how the car handled this particular trip. I mean, I can only imagine how it would handle now with this new setup that's got it going in there. But the Wrangler's now down to 20 psi for this track.
Wow, that was nuts.
Again, the camera really doesn't do some of the angles here justice. It doesn't look that bad on the camera, but I'm telling you, there was some... I couldn't see anything. I was up in the air like that. It's another... And you know, if I'm sticking my head out the window, that it's something to be concerned about. Man, this section, wow. You can tell that I'm not used to doing this type of four-wheel driving either because of how easy I'm taking it. You notice I'm going really slow, stopping all the time and just slowly easing it over things because I was by myself out here. There was no recovery vehicle or anything like that if something went wrong. And we did have an instance on this trip that you will see in the next episode coming up that really made us quite worried. Little wheel lift for you. Still an awesome little trail. Nathan popping his head out the back there. He's lucky that they didn't take him up in the chopper. Tell you what, Nathan definitely seen some awkward angles in the back of the truck for this trip. If I seen some awkward angles in the front, I can only imagine how it felt back there. You can see as well the bushfire regeneration all around here. Bushfires absolutely ripped through the YALWAL region. It was actually closed off for a long time. And we actually just managed to get in there only, I think it was 2 weeks after they reopened this area to the public because of the damages done to the bushfires. Here we are coming down. You can see the ecosystem change as we head down towards this creek. Awesome little spot this creek was, and I would come down here again just to camp at this creek. It was awesome. It was really soft, that bank there. But this is the campsite that killed us with the cicadas, by the way, too.
They found a spot along the trail. We didn't want to bother the other people camped here. Cicadas are so loud.
Yeah.
That's the only downside.
Man.
Anyway, beautiful little opening. The creek's just down the back there behind us. Pristine spot, I reckon. And thanks to the bloke who recommended this spot and told us about it. Absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, wow.
How awesome is it having this creek just down right near camp?
That was an awesome little spot.
Absolutely spectacular. Super hot. This creek is nice and warm and the sun is shaded out. Man, this is just spectacular.
Yeah, the only downside to that particular camp spot was the cicadas. It was a great little spot. And as soon as the sun went down and the cicadas went away, we had the time of our lives at this spot. But while the cicadas were around, they were fairly annoying. I mean, as you hear there in the video, they were so loud. Even the camera mic picked them up really loud. So you're right there, Jared. It was such an awesome little spot. And if we ever do head back down to YALWAL, we will be checking this spot out again, I'm sure.
Alright, now dinner's done and the fire's going, so we're just going to be chilling by the
Ooh,
fire.
listen to those cicadas. Wow.
For a nice chill night. And we'll see you guys in the morning when it's time to leave.
Yeah, what an awesome little camp spot that was. We really love to head back there. Just gotta hope the cicadas aren't as bad. Here we are, episode 3. This is us coming out of that spot. And this was actually the episode that we had the issues with last time. So I was lagging a little bit last time. You see the terrain is just as unforgiving in this episode as the last. Yes, a little mishap. Oh, listen to that. Wow, it's so loud.
Final day here in the YALWAL, and we've been woken up by the alarm clock of the bush.
Oh, wow.
Cicadas are so loud. It's really annoying having them around. I mean, this place, this little spot that we got here is beautiful, but those cicadas are just the only thing that is annoying.
I don't know how loud this is for you guys, but the volume is up fairly high for me here, and they're just blowing out my eardrums. That's just crazy how loud they were.
Our way slowly out of here today. How we're going to do that, I'm not sure. Whether we just go back up the track we came, or we try the monkey gum, I guess we'll see.
Oh,
Anyway,
wow.
let's get cracking.
Fairly happy with how we packed up as well each day. I mean, we had a fair amount of stuff with us as well. And like I said, those roof racks were loaded up really well. I think this was the last trip that we did with the old ARB awning. The next trip that we did after this to Lithgow, I had the brand new XTM awning on there. There we go. Look at all that soft stuff down there coming up out of here. The car still effortlessly got up all that stuff, even though it was a little bit soft. Didn't have to gas it up or anything like that. Like I said before, the car has a factory rear diff locker. So, just had to engage that, and we got up out of there no problem. Another really awesome little wheel lift there. So we're still on the Mint Bush Trail here, and then we come up to the top of this trail, and I'm pretty sure we go on a little track called Wombat Flat. Yeah, Jared, this was, we had a huntsman on the bottom of that stretcher every night except that night, I think. That's one thing I'm looking forward to with the rooftop tent. There will be no more huntsmans underneath that, I hope. Yeah, she done well on this one. Here we are, coming up the top of the track now. Super duper washed out. You can tell the tyres are down low in this as well. A lot of weight on top of them there. And I feel like maybe the weight did have something to do with what happened coming up soon here. Yeah, I'm sure they'll definitely find a way to get up under the rooftop somehow, Nathan. You're right there. Really rocky stuff here. Here we are coming up to the spot of our little disaster now, just over this creek up the other side. This was probably one of the scariest situations that we'd ever been in. We ended up really getting lucky, but when it happened, we all kind of freaked out a little bit here. You know, Jared and Nathan in the chat will know what I'm talking about. Here we are. It should be coming up in just a second here. My first ever heart attack, even though thankfully it ended up not being as bad as we thought. We thought the tyre here exploded, but I did not, just debeat it a little bit. I even added the intense music for this bit. Right here, you see my angle is wrong, too much weight. Bang, right there.
Right, so as we were coming up this hill here,
I ended up actually turning the car around, no worries as well.
this little ledge just down there, and a big gush of air come out. Now, originally, I thought the tyre was flat or bursted. However, now after my panic attack has stopped, what I think has actually happened is the tyre has slightly debeated from the rim.
Thankfully I was right here, that is what happened.
Let a little gush of air out and kind of gone back on. And so, because if that was sliced like it would have been if it plopped on that little rock, the thing would be completely flat and there'd be no air left in it, but it seems to be holding air sitting there. But anyway, we're going to pump it up a little bit and just see if I'm right, and if not, and air starts coming out from somewhere else, well, we're buggered.
And I'm not exaggerating there. If this tyre was flat, we really were buggered, because my bottle jack is underneath the plywood fitting that the fridge is on top of, so it would have taken us hours to change the tyre over out there.
We have pumped this tyre all the way back up to 40 psi now, the tyre was on 20. When whatever happened, I aired down to 20 for this track. And just thinking aloud, if that tyre had a split when we hit that little rocky ledge back there and whatever happened, you'd be able to hear the air pissing out of that tyre like no tomorrow. You'd be able to hear it.
Exactly.
You can't hear anything. There's no air hissing out. So my fingers are crossed, and I guess I consider myself very lucky that this brand new tyre, may I add, brand new $400 tyre, didn't pop, but just the rim debeated a little bit there, and some air hissed out when I popped the gauge on. It was down to 10 psi, but it was holding. It wasn't going down anymore. So we're just going to let it move back and forth a little bit and just hope and just test it out a little bit and make sure no more air comes. Right. Thankfully, you can see what's happened here. You can just see it there.
Yep.
Where the tyre has debeated from the rim a little bit. So we're going to do our best to get that back on, and then we're going to continue out. We're not going to do that Monkey Gum trail after this one. I reckon we're just going to go back up this trail that we're on and back out the other way.
I'm very glad that I did not do the Monkey Gum in this one either, because it's definitely not a trail that I'd like to do by myself.
But yeah, I'd really rather play it safe because we're the only car out here. And so if something goes wrong on that trail, supposedly it's way more hectic than this one. And if this has happened on this trail, I definitely don't want anything worse to happen on that trail. Oh, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. She's back on the rim.
This took a little while took about 15-20 minutes.
Banged it a little bit and then pumped it up as high as we possibly could, and then pop, went back on the rim. And so
Really lucky that we fixed this.
5 psi this time. I'm not going to go right down to 20 on this one, just to avoid the same thing happening. And then we're going to get the hell out of here. I reckon it's bloody hot.
Yeah, it was really hot on this trip as well. So really relieved that we were actually able to fix that, because like I said a little while back, there was no recovery vehicle on this trip. There was no other vehicle. We were all by ourselves out here. And my bottle jack was underneath the plywood that the fridge was on. Yeah, okay, I guess that's my fault. Bad placement, but I'd never ever had to use it before. And I definitely did not expect the terrain to be this rough down here. If I ever went back here, of course, I would take that out and have it in a more accessible location. You know, it's funny as well, on those rims are brand new at that stage, the little center caps just pop off. And through doing all of this, not one ever came off. But as soon as I went to the Turon River and went across there, well, Jared was there for this one too, we had one pop off, and the terrain at the Turon there was way easier than what you're seeing here. So I'm really not sure how it managed to pop off down there and not on here. You see the bash plate there doing its job, taking a nice big chunk of dirt out of one of the mounds somewhere.
I'm glad that is over, eh?
I'm
glad that we're still on the road. Well, if you want to call it a road. So now we've just got to get out of here without that happening again.
Now the mission to get out. Of course, you can imagine that even though debeating a rim is considered a minor thing these days, we were so nervous that it was going to happen again on the way out. We were all really nervous and just glad to get out of there when we finally did. Besides that little hiccup there, I was really pleased with how the car performed as well. As well, all of these obstacles make the car look small as well. On this trip, the suspension hadn't even set in properly, so the car was sitting so high. It's fully loaded with all gear there as well, and still was sitting up really tall. It's a lot taller than what I was used to, so I was doing all this really hard stuff here. Well, I thought it was hard at the time. Completely new on brand new suspension, not even used to the car at this height, so I'm really surprised I actually went through and did all of this. And you see that the back bumper's taken a big hit. Awesome little track though. If we ever go back down to YALWAL, we will be doing this again for sure. Hear those cicadas coming back there again. Here we are getting towards the top of the trail here. There we go. Just about up the top now. This trip really put the Hypersmooth 3 in the GoPro Hero 9 to test. So Jared is literally running over everything that you see the car tackling here. But look at how smooth it looks on the GoPro. I mean, I don't know how they're going to be able to top this with the GoPro Hero 10, but apparently they have. I mean, there we have it. Finally up out of the Mint Bush Trail there.
So now we're back out on the main trail after that trail that we stayed down last night. D-beated the tyre on. I mean, awesome little trail, lovely little camp spot down there. Now we're just on our way out now, and we're going to go to the end of this trail here, air up, and then we'll probably go have some lunch somewhere and chill out. I'm pretty sure all of our hearts are racing after that.
Absolutely.
Trail there, that was some hectic stuff. Really love what the YALWAL had to offer us this time around. We'll definitely be coming back. This place seems like Nunes with so many trails to go off and explore. There are the power lines trails back there which we could have taken out, but I think we're all done with four-wheel driving for now, so we're just going to stay on the main trail and putt our way out of here. Alright, well, here we are just about to head back onto the blacktop. It's fairly good today, except another hit for the old
the old rear bars on the Pajero are absolutely useless, the old plastic ones.
Guys, it is now time for us to air up and head back home. What a crazy adventure into the YALWAL we have had over the last 2 days. We ended up staying an extra day. It was well worth it. Got some awesome trails in. Absolutely epic four-wheel driving. I'm very glad that we were able to make it out of there with no dramas in the end. Now remember guys, if you enjoyed this one and you enjoy videos like this, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, share the video around.
That was definitely one of the more epic adventures that we've done.
And as always, we will see you in the next adventure.
Well, there you guys have it. That was definitely one of the more epic adventures that we have done. over the years out there. I mean, I'd love to be able to head back down in that region for an extra couple of days. I know Jared and Nathan really wanted to spend more time at Danjera Dam fishing there. Obviously, freshwater fishing requires a lot more patience. Danjera Dam is fairly easy to access as well. You know, we'd love to be able to stay, just like I said, a little bit more time at each of the spots that we did stay at. And even then, I'd love to also be able to clear that little track that we weren't able to clear when we went down there. You see, like with this new setup that I've got going, a lot more is possible. And as well, Jared now has a car. You can follow along down to Danjera Dam. You can access Danjera Dam with a 2-wheel drive vehicle. You don't need to do all the hard stuff to get into Danjera Dam. The only difficult part of that was Mintbush Campground, which was where you've seen us do all that crazy stuff to get down into that creek. But that was an awesome little spot. Just got to time it right, make sure the cicadas aren't around, which is probably never, because they really were annoying, as you guys probably could see on the video there. But yeah, YALWAL, one of my favorite places. I'd absolutely head back there at the drop of a hat. I'm sure Jared and Nathan would as well. That is pretty much it for this live stream, guys. The next live stream that we'll be doing, we'll still tossing up whether to be watching some of our older adventures up to noons or to be watching a couple of our old fishing videos. I don't know which one Jared's going to say, but yeah, so tune in next Wednesday where we will relive another adventure. Coming up this Friday here on the channel, we have the first ever lockdown cook-off between myself, Shad Donahue, Unpro Adventures, Mud Ducks 4-wheel drive touring, mixed 4-wheel drive touring, and 4-wheeling in New South Wales. A lot of content creators come together for that, guys. Show a little bit of sense of community in this lockdown that we're having now. It seems never going to end, so we thought, heck, why not just try and get some stuff out, let everyone know that we're still this nice big community of 4-wheel drive YouTubers in lockdown. And then the following Friday, you will see Unpro Adventures and I go head-to-head in a pasta cook-off. That was pretty awesome. I really enjoyed doing that. So we'll be doing a fair few of those. You guys will probably see a fair few of those. There's still a couple more cook-up videos that I have on the channel of some other cool little recipes. And as well, there are still 2 unreleased adventure videos that are from probably a month back now, I would say, from when I went down and visited the Turon National Park. My camera was knocked into the river, and then I went to visit Glen Davis. There's also a video that I did on Glen Davis itself. So those videos are still unreleased on the channel. They will eventually be released, but just for the moment, we're doing a lot of cook-ups and stuff like that, just so all the videos that are featuring all the other YouTubers, of course, they want to release that content on their channel as well. So I'm prioritizing that content, release that first, so they can then go and release it on their own channel. But stay tuned, because there are still a couple of adventure videos to come, and hopefully they'll be up, hopefully within the next month, really fingers crossed, but still not sure as to when I'll be able to release them. Anyway, guys, tune in on Friday for that video, the burger cook-off, and then tune in on Monday to see who wins that as well, to see your questions answered on another live stream. We've already had some great interaction with our Instagram at Vikings4x4 asking some questions for next Monday's live stream, so make sure you get them in and we'll answer them live on Monday. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for those who are still around, and for those who tuned in. Of course, there will be a replay available on the channel straight after this live stream. So, guys, thank you very, very much for watching, and as always, we will see you in the next adventure.